Hello, beautiful Aquarius, and welcome back to Unbound Soul Tarot. My name is Helen, and I am super thrilled to be doing a reading for you for the month of September 2024. So the way that this reading is going to go is that we are going to be looking at the general energy that you're going to be facing, any blocks or challenges that may be coming up for you, the positives that you will be experiencing, and also the main lesson that you can potentially learn in the month of September. We're also going to look at some other very interesting things, sort of diving more deeply into all of these energies and more. And so definitely stay tuned for the reading to see whether something resonates for you, because this is a general reading, so it might not resonate for all of you, but you know, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. As always, use your discernment. And I am aiming this reading more so for the Aquarius sun and rising, but if you are an Aquarius moon, then this reading can definitely talk to you too. Or if you have any other placements in Aquarius, then feel free to watch this reading, of course, but I am mostly focusing on the sun, rising, and moon placements. So anyway, let's start off with your energy. Let's see what is your energy in the month of September 2024. Okay, we have this. And let's see what sort of energy is around you in the month of September 2024. What sort of energy is around Aquarius in September? Okay, beautiful. And we have the birds. Okay, so I also want to get the other cards out too, so that we can see what sort of energy we are dealing with. So let's jump into this. We have some very interesting cards to go through, but we're starting off with your energy first. And now what this card is telling me is that in the month of September, you may be somewhat secretive or a bit like holding back about what is truly happening, what is going on. Because whenever this card comes out, it always makes me feel like, you know, there is something going on, like deep beneath like the waves, that, you know, it's just not being like revealed, or, you know, because it's like, it's how the watery proportion is being emphasized on this card. Like the little ship is so tiny on this card, and then there is this like massive body of water. And so, yeah, it's making me feel that there is some sort of like depth or some sort of hidden meaning behind what it is that you are actually like going through or feeling, but it's not necessarily being shown or shared with other people. And so, you know, you could be trying to like sort of face some sort of like weird emotions, or some possibly even more like turbulent emotions, you know, navigate the terrain of what it is that you are going through, what it is that you are feeling and sensing, and trying to do that like alone. Like that seems to be a very big keyword here, or like, you know, trying to face things by yourself. That sort of seems to be like your energy. So it's kind of interesting as well, because the energy around you is coming through as the birds. And so this is actually a card of like friendship and of, you know, like getting together and sort of, you know, catching up, supporting each other, being there for each other, like that type of energy. So I do feel like, you know, the people around you, the relationships that you have in your life are going to be very supportive, and they are going to like make their presence known to you, almost like they can instinctively feel that something is off about you, or that something is not quite right, but that you are most likely not really wanting to divulge or open up about what it is that you are truly going through. And so they're just sort of like making their support known to you in like subtle terms, possibly very like obvious terms as well, you know, so they may be telling you that they are there for you and that they are ready to listen when you need them, but it just feels like you are somewhat like detached from that, or almost like yeah, especially with this like boat, it feels like you are on some sort of a solo journey and you are trying to like brave the waters by yourself, regardless of the sort of the supportive and loving energy that is around you. And it also kind of makes me feel like there is a bit of a contrast, or there is a bit of a mismatch between like your energy and the energy around you, because the energy around you definitely seems to want to connect and want to like reach out to you, connect with you, you know, share their energy, share their love, share their support, and also like possibly receive that back from you as well. But I don't know, it just seems like you are somewhat distant, or you were like unreachable, you know, for whatever reason. I am going to clarify your energy as well a bit later, because I want to see if we can get more information about it. But it definitely feels like you are being a bit more distant than normal in the month of September, and sort of just working through your own stuff a bit. Now, let's look at the actual cards that are describing the month. So we first off have this card over here, right? Which is, as you can see, you know, about a desert sort of environment. It may look a bit like bleak. I'm not really necessarily feeling it like as bleakly as that, but it sort of makes me feel that in the month of September, there could be certain aspects of your life, not like the whole thing, right? It's not like the whole of September, but it feels like there are certain aspects of your life that feel somewhat like unfulfilling, or where you feel like, you know, your needs are not being met, where you feel like, yeah, it just feels somewhat like barren, or like you are not really happy with the way that things are. And so you may be really like honing in on that, or that may somehow be like become very much at the forefront for you. That could actually be like what is causing you to sort of pull away a bit, or like withdraw into yourself and sort of try and deal with everything that you are thinking about and fearing or feeling about the situation. But it just seems like there is some sort of like lack that is becoming very evident for you. Now, you know, most likely, you know, if this is something that you have already been feeling, or if this is something that has been sort of going on for a long time, but maybe you've just sort of tried to like ignore it or not really pay too much attention to it, then it feels like whatever this lack is just becoming very much like pronounced in the month of September. It's almost like you can't really avoid it or ignore it anymore. And it's becoming like this, yeah, this like screaming thing that wants your attention, desperately seeks your attention. And so it's almost like, yeah, you kind of have to deal with whatever this is. And again, I'm not saying that the whole like month of September is going to be like bleak and unfulfilling or something like that. But it just feels like some aspect that you are not happy with, that you are not satisfied with, is going to be coming to the forefront. Let's just say it like that. Now, next off, we have something that is like a potential block or challenge that you're going to be facing. And this is the card of medicine and health, obviously. Now, again, I don't really like, you know, do health readings and stuff like that, so I'm not making any predictions here. But I do feel like, you know, if you have any sort of like health issues or something like that that are like causing you constant, you know, struggles or difficulties, then I feel like those could be the reason why, you know, why you could be sort of withdrawing to yourself a bit, or it could be somewhat sort of difficult to like work around these stresses or challenges that you have. Yeah, it could also be, you know, like potentially, especially if you have any sort of like chronic conditions that you are sort of used to having, or that you sort of manage, but that like crop up every now and then. It could be that in the month of September, like there's something that is like flaring up, and it is causing you to, you know, it's like making you unable to like do something that you want to do, or work on something that you want to work. And so that's what this like sense of lack could also be coming from, that you don't have the energy, or you don't have the capability to like work on something that you want to work on, or produce something that you want to produce. like, hopefully that makes sense, but it just seems like there is some sort of like inhibition when it comes to like health or well-being. And this can also be, you know, not just like physical well-being, but this can also be like mental well-being. So again, it seems like something about your sense of well-being is kind of like a challenge in a way, or is being a bit of a difficulty. So yeah, I don't know. I feel called to say as well, like, especially because of this card here, you know, to try and be as mindful of like your health and well-being as possible. You know, especially if this is talking about some sort of like a mental condition that you struggle with, like depression, anxiety, that type of thing. Yeah, I feel like being especially like gentle with yourself could possibly be a really good and a very helpful thing for you. Now, interestingly, moving on to the positive things that you are going to be experiencing in the month of September, we have the money card. So, and this is very like specifically talking about money. And so, you know, there could be something related to like an increase in money, some sort of like, you know, some sort of like windfall, some win or something like that, or possibly like a raise that is going to be coming through for you. Or maybe you know, applied for a loan and you have been waiting for that, and that comes through for you in the month of September. Or you simply like have a surplus of money. Maybe like your bills or your expenses are smaller than they have been before, and so you actually have some extra resources to sort of do with as you please, right? So yeah, however this like specifically resonates for you, it definitely feels like you are going to be enjoying the aspect of like money, or you may even like, you know, have some sort of a good investment opportunity that is going to bring you like rewards down the line, or someone could be supporting you financially as well. That could also be like this positive monetary aspect here. Yeah, whatever the case is specifically, it feels like money is one of the positive things in the month of September for you. So yeah, let's move on. Now, the final card here is also somewhat of a more of a possibly like a serious looking card, but this is talking about the main lesson that you can learn. And obviously, as you can see from the depiction of the card, this is fairly obvious in its meaning. This is talking about like restrictions and feeling tied down, feeling like, you know, pushed into a corner. So, you know, if you're familiar with tarot, this very much is like that Eight of Swords type of energy, where you feel like you're literally, your hands are tied and you don't really have that much power to do something. So I feel like with this being the lesson here, it almost, you know, makes me feel of, you know, being okay with having to sort of be still for a time. Even if you are not necessarily like incapacitated, like in an actual sense in any way, then it almost, you know, it almost makes me feel like it's okay to, you know, be in a helpless position sometimes, or feel like you don't have the answers, or you don't have the solutions, or you can't handle everything on your own. So, you know, especially if you are the type of person who really struggles with like asking for help, if you find it hard to like admit to any sort of weakness, or like you really need some support, you need some help, then I feel like basically in the month of September, you potentially have the opportunity to learn the lesson to like, you know, accept, or at least, you know, tolerate the aspect of being vulnerable, or of showing to other people that you don't have it all together, and you are struggling, you can't handle everything on your own, and you possibly need some guidance, or some assistance, or some help, some support. And I do feel like with this card being here, that your friends are more than willing, like the people around you, whoever you have in your life, they are more than willing to like, you know, help you, take care of you, because they, you know, the people that love you, the people that value you, they want you to thrive, they want you to be good. And so, you know, if you are struggling, then obviously that affects them as well. And so I feel like this is basically just sort of saying that, you know, there can be something really like beautiful and positive that can come out of struggling or suffering or being in a bit of a tight spot. But as I said, I want to clarify before we move on to any other cards. I want to clarify your energy specifically. And I also want to clarify these two cards here. So let's see your energy. What is Aquarius's energy more specifically? Can we get clarifiers for Aquarius's energy? Thank you. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, can I get one more? Can I get one more for Aquarius's energy? Okay, we got 3 more. We have the 2 of Pentacles, the 5 of Chalices or the 5 of Cups, and the 3 of Wands in reverse. So, yeah, with the Ace of Pentacles, it definitely feels like you are, you know, like you are dealing with some sort of like new situation, new opportunity, new possibility. The Ace of Pentacles in and of itself is actually a really like a positive card, but because it's coming out with these other cards as well, with the 2 of Pentacles, the 5 of Chalices, and the 3 of Wands in reverse, especially with the 2 of Pentacles, you know, this is this like trying to manage, trying to hold things afloat, right? With, you know, balancing different areas of life. And so, yeah, especially because with the Pentacles card, again, you know, this is talking about the physical body as well, and this can talk about health and stuff like that. So again, you know, I don't want anyone to get worried, but if you know that you are struggling with your health, or if health is somewhat of a weakness for you in some regard, then it feels like that could be very much, again, in focus in the month of September. And we also have this 5 of Chalices and the 3 of Wands in reverse. So yeah, it seems like you are trying to like juggle, like handling things, especially with the Ace of Pentacles. It feels like you're trying to handle things like on a practical level as well, like keeping life going and keeping all of your responsibilities going. But then with the 5 of Cups and the 3 of Wands in reverse, this feels like, you know, struggling, like definitely emotionally struggling with things like being thwarted or being, you know, delayed or not really working out the way that you want them to, with this 3 of Wands in reverse especially. So yeah, this feels like you're trying to handle things on your own, but it is somewhat difficult. Let's look at this general energy card. So what is this desert or this barrenness talking about? I'll get some clarifiers for the general energy of the month for Aquarius. I'm sorry, I can already tell that this reading is going to be a lot longer, and I do apologize, but we have to look at what this is, what is going on here. So general energy, can you please clarify the general energy of the month for Aquarius? Okay. Okay, interesting. So we have the Ace of Chalices or the Ace of Cups with the Chariot, and we also have, well, the 7 of Swords at the bottom. So yeah, I feel like with the Ace of Cups and the Chariot, like this is definitely talking about something that is very like emotionally important to you. And that seems to be like, I feel like whatever this lack is that you are feeling, or whatever you feel like is not fully like satisfactory, or yeah, where like your needs are not being met, it seems to be tied to like an emotional fulfillment of some sort. And also because of the Chariot card here, this is talking about like some sort of goal or willpower, you know, like really going after something that you desire. Yeah, like following your heart. So if this is like let's say you have some sort of like passion project or something like that, and you have invested a lot of time into like that working or being able to, I don't know, launch it or something, but then maybe you have to like delay it because of, you know, whatever this, again, like health thing is. Or, and again, this could also be just referring to, you know, if you are struggling like with like depression, anxiety, those types of things, then it could just be that like that's where you are feeling the lack, right? Of like that sort of feeling of fulfillment, feeling of nourishment, feeling of, you know, having something to strive towards, or feeling motivated to go after things, right? So that could be the sort of the difficulty here too. But let's clarify this medicine or health card. Let's look at the block or challenge. Can I please get clarifiers for the block or the challenge for Aquarius? Okay, thank you. Yeah, wow, we have the moon, and we also have the Seven of Chalices at the bottom of the deck, or the Seven of Cups. So yeah, with the moon, this is actually a card of Pisces, but this definitely makes me feel of like, you know, health stuff specifically, and even more specifically, this can talk about mental health, because this is like fears, anxieties, that type of thing specifically. So yeah, so this feels very specific. So, you know, I'm sorry if this is not really resonating for a lot of you, but that's what I'm getting. So that's what I have to go with. But yeah, let's move on now. Let's keep going, because this reading is dragging on already, and I do apologize. But I want to look at the outcomes, potential outcomes for all of these different areas, which is going to be very interesting to see what comes up over here. So let's start with the first card. We have the Starfish energy coming through as the potential outcome for your general energy of the month. And so the Starfish is an interesting one, because it kind of represents everything that like looks good on the surface, but that actually, you know, doesn't have that much substance underneath, or is somewhat like hollow underneath a beautiful veneer. And so, you know, because it's talking about this like energy of lack, or like this drought energy, right? Like not being fulfilled, not being nourished. It's kind of making me think that, you know, I feel like there is a bit of a danger in, how should I say it? Because it feels like you are trying very hard to like conceal, right, the things that you feel that are lacking, or that are not actually, you know, that you are not feeling nourished by, or that you are not feeling a sense of fulfillment from. It could be, it could lead to a place where like you are so focused on like showing this brave front to everyone else that it actually, like, you lose focus on actually like doing something about that sense of, you know, feeling unnourished, or feeling maybe unnourished probably isn't a word, but, you know, feeling like your needs are not being met, and feeling like there is something that is desperately missing. But this card is so heavily focused on not even like people pleasing, but just sort of wanting to, yeah, just sort of wanting to show yourself off in the best way. But it can very often like cost you in like actual, like truly good feelings, you know, or true feelings of fulfillment. And so I feel like this is almost like giving a slight warning of how important it is to actually, you know, again, like really face what it is that is lacking, or really face these feelings that are cropping up for you, even if they are like unpleasant, and even if they are, you know, putting you in a space that you don't necessarily want to be in, because I feel like they are ultimately going to be, you know, taking you out of this negative space. I don't know, I hope that makes sense. I don't know whether this reading is going to resonate for anyone out there, but I truly, truly hope that it is, because this is like this is something else. This reading is so different from any other readings that I've done so far. So hopefully this is going to speak to someone out there. But yeah, okay, I'm going to leave it there. So next up we have this Eagle card. And this is the potential outcome for the, block or challenge that you can potentially face in the month of September. And this is basically talking about true strength and, like a breakthrough type of energy. Because the eagle is such a spiritual and powerful bird that, it kind of represents just a lot of like inner strength. And I feel like that's really what this like challenge or hindrance that you're going to be facing in the month of September, what this is really like taking you to is this whole new level of finding a source of inner strength, or even like elevating to the next level. Because if I'm not mistaken, eagles are like, they fly the highest, and they don't have any like predators. So basically they are only like, they're always the ones who like look down on other birds, but they never have to look up because there's nothing really like to endanger them. I don't quote me on that. I may have misremembered that from somewhere. But anyway, eagles are definitely a very strong symbol of like power, especially personal power, and also like courage and determination and just like focus. And so I feel like this is like ultimately where this like hindrance can really take you, take you to new levels of like self-mastery, or overcoming something that has previously possibly been really like challenging to you, or caused you a lot of fear and like stunted your development, stunted your movement. But I feel like this can really like take you to new heights and show you how you are so able to overcome whatever these like challenges are, and that you can still like go after what it is that you want. You can still achieve what it is that you need to achieve, even if it takes a bit longer, or even if it's not like a straight from A to B sort of trajectory. Yeah, this feels like a lot of spiritual growth, especially. But now moving on to the money card or the positive in the month of September, we have the elk energy, which is such a beautiful and like such perfect energy to get, because this is actually talking about like stability and security and having a very strong foundation, especially in like the earthly matters, because this is the earth element that we are talking about. And this card very often is the card of like the father or the patriarch who like takes care of everyone and offers protection and looks after everyone. And so I feel like really what this is saying is that the positive money aspect in your life, again, however this manifests for you, has the potential to take you to like a really strong and secure place where almost at least like the more like material and physical aspects of life are like well taken care of, so you don't really have to worry about that. It much more seems like this has to do with like your spiritual and your emotional well-being rather than like the practical matters. Again, this could have like the physical health aspect tied into it too, but it more so seems like mental, spiritual, emotional, like those types of aspects that seem to be really coming to the forefront to be dealt with and acknowledged. Because we also have this cosmic egg card, which is the final card in the deck, and this actually is tied to the crown chakra specifically. And so with the main lesson here, I feel like this is talking about the potential outcome of getting access to some sort of like a deeper truth or a deeper understanding. And again, I feel almost like making peace with certain aspects of life that have possibly previously like eluded you, or where you have really struggled or found it difficult. And this cosmic egg is also making me feel there could be a certain like appreciation or even like understanding and kindness or compassion towards what it is that you are going through and what sort of like life you have been dealt, or what sort of cards you have been dealt, like metaphorically. Because yeah, this is like a deeper sort of understanding, or being able to feel like a certain connection to something like bigger than ourselves, and something bigger than the mundane physical existence. Again, I have no idea whether these cards are making sense to anyone out there, but I truly hope that they are. You know, even if it's just one of you out there, that would be good. But anyway, let's look at the advice portion, and then I promise then it's going to be it. I'm not going to drag this reading on any longer. Yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so the first card out is the Page of Swords, which is talking about the advice on how to deal with like the general energy. And again, I feel like basically this is emphasizing how important it is to actually share what it is that is going on with you. Because the Page of Swords is all about like knowledge, information, and especially because we're dealing with the sword suit, this also speaks directly about communication and like verbal self-expression. And so, you know, it just feels like Spirit is really urging you to not be afraid to actually speak the truth about what it is that is going on with you. Because I feel like, as I said, I feel like the people that are closest to you, the people that care about you and that love you, they already can sense that something is amiss anyway. And so it almost like is making me feel that it doesn't really serve anyone trying to like battle with these sort of feelings or emotions by yourself, and trying to take on everything on your own, because it truly does seem like, you know, it's, especially because this is the page as well, and this is, you know, about messages and sort of beginner level of all of the chord cards, right? It feels like, you know, taking things sort of easy, not putting as much like pressure on yourself. And yeah, even if it's just like a quick little overview, you know, you don't have to like divulge all of the details, you don't have to get deep into the nitty-gritty of what is going on. But even if it's just like a quick little overview, or just, you know, letting the closest people around you know what it is that you are sort of trying to combat or trying to overcome, I feel like that in and of itself is going to be such a huge help. And also, like, especially if this lack is also resulting from you feeling like you don't have the sort of the support that you feel like you need from the people around you. Because even though, as I said, I feel like support is there, but it just may be in a form or in a manner that isn't something that you exactly feel like you need specifically. Maybe you need some sort of other form of support, right? That they don't know how to give you, or that they don't even know that you are maybe missing, right? So, you know, vocalizing that could actually go a very long way. And so, yeah, it just seems like this whole sort of column is talking about the how like trying to struggle on your own and keeping all of this, like, you know, this thing that is sort of difficult for you to handle, keeping it all to yourself, how it's not really doing anyone any favors. It's not really helping the situation at all. So yeah, communication seems to be very, very much encouraged here. Next up, we have the World card coming out. I'm going to show it to you upright so you could see the beautiful imagery. But this is a card of Saturn, so it's actually your ruling planet. And because it's coming out in reverse as advice for the sort of the, you know, the difficulty or the challenge, I feel like what this is saying is to just try and be okay with the delays that are happening. Because with the World card, you know, you are sort of nearing the culmination point. You are nearing the sort of the success point of like stepping through that portal and coming into like a whole new chapter. But clearly there is something that is again being delayed, or, you know, it's going to take a bit more time for you to get there. And I feel like this is basically just saying to, you know, have patience and just allow the sort of the delays to happen, because I feel like in and of itself, in those delays, there could be some really important like lessons or again learning curves for you, especially with this eagle card, right? As I was saying about like self-mastery and really like reaching new heights or reaching new levels, and seeing how even if like, you know, there are these challenges and things that slow you down or basically like cause some sort of delays in your plans, it doesn't mean that things are not going to be working out for you in the end, right? It doesn't mean that things are not going to be manifesting and not producing the results that you want. It could just take a bit longer, and that's okay. That's okay. Now, moving on, we have the 8 of Wands, and this is advice as, you know, coming through for the positive that you're going to be experiencing. And so I feel like this is basically just saying to enjoy it and to go with the flow, because the 8 of Wands is really a card of like momentum and development and forward movement, because clearly the monetary or the financial aspect and the security aspect it seems to be one that is doing very well in the month of September. I feel like the universe is just sort of saying to just sort of enjoy it and to like go with the flow, to accept it basically. Also, if this like support or monetary assistance is coming through for you, via someone else, someone like gifting it to you, or someone just supporting you out of the goodness of their own heart, then I feel like the 8 of Wands is also a card of communication. And so this could just be like prompting, sort of saying, showing your appreciation or expressing your appreciation in that way too. And then finally we have the 4 of Cups coming through as advice for the main lesson that you have the ability or potentially learning in the month of September. And so this is really again about just being okay with like things sort of being a bit more slow or not really working out the way that you possibly envisioned, right? And so, and I also feel like this is saying that there is the possibility to find something really amazing and to actually find something really fulfilling, right? With the new cup being offered here, in this space of like feeling like you are tied down or feeling like you are restricted somehow. Like there is true possibility of like fulfillment in this situation. And so again, I feel like Spirit is really urging you to see this time of like being slowed down or hindered in your progress in some way as like a possibility to like truly find fulfillment and to truly take a deep dive into what it is that you feel like is missing from your life, or what it is that you feel like you need in order to feel fulfilled or nourished or complete, or whatever you feel that is not exactly to your liking. So this is actually a really good opportunity here, again, to sort of get this like deeper understanding, this realization that can really take you to where you ultimately want to go and fulfill whatever void that you feel is there. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop talking because again, I feel like I have dragged this reading on for such a long time, and I really do apologize that this was such a long one, but I have to say this reading did not make that much sense to me. So I'm really hoping that there is someone out there watching who resonated with this, or who can make sense of this reading. And if that is you, I would really love to hear from you. So a thumbs up or a comment in the comment section would let me know that this was appreciated and that this resonated. And of course, subscribing to my channel, that would mean so much to me as well, and that would let me know that you want to see more from me, and that would help keep this little channel going. But yeah, I'm going to close this out now. So I do really hope from the bottom of my heart that September is going to be an amazing month for you, as weird and colorful as it may potentially be. But yeah, I still hope that it is going to be a blessing, possibly in disguise. And hopefully this reading was useful to you. But anyway, please take care, my beautiful Aquarius, and I hope to see you in one of my next readings very soon. Bye-bye.